Hello, this is Taylor Ellwood with Magical Experiments. And today I'm going to be talking about my ongoing experiments with scrying. Now, if I don't know if you folks know that I'm on Instagram or not, but if you don't, I am on Instagram as Magical Experiments, and I am actually doing some videos on there where I'm actually showing some of the scrying work I'm doing. So if you're interested in the scrying, you can check it out there. But I'm going to talk about it a bit today. Um, I've been doing um, I've been doing experiments with scrying over the last, I would say, 5 to 6 months, half a year. And it came about because I took a course by Harper Feist on scrying, and I found it to be a really interesting course. It definitely got me thinking, like how could I use this more? And so I started, I'd done a bit of scrying before I'd taken that class, but I decided after I took that class that I was going to explore it. And it took a while for me to get to the point where I could do that. I had other things going on in my life at the time, but then I decided to do a deep dive into scrying. And I already had like an obsidian mirror or an onyx mirror or something, a black mirror anyway. And then I've been doing scrying with that. I've done scrying with bowls of water. I've been doing scrying with candles. I've also been doing scrying with mind machines and a thing called a Theratapper. A lot of what I've been doing is working with just finding different ways to stimulate or alter the sensory environment that I'm in order to help facilitate the scrying. And I'm going to be sharing all of this in my upcoming book called Scrying the Divine. I'm working on it right now. I'm currently writing chapter 2. And this is a book that's going to be about intermediate to advanced scrying techniques. So I'm pretty excited about that. With my approach with scrying, it's not just been about spirit work. That has been part of it. I've been using scrying, for example, to connect with demonic spirits as far as like the Goetia is concerned. So, for example, I did a scrying session last night with Belial in order to connect with Belial. And I've done this almost every week actually, because there's been this course I've been taking that's like a Demon a Week course by Steph Connolly, and I've been really enjoying that. Hi, again, she's actually coming out with a book called 76 Week Goetia, which I would recommend checking out. It's basically the course. But it's been a really good and helpful course. I already knew a lot about working with demonic spirits, so it wasn't like it was anything new, but it sharpened my interest and helped me focus more. And that's one of the things that I like about it. But it's a commitment too. I mean, I've been working with a demon a week pretty much every week. There's been 1 or 2 weeks I've skipped, but overall I've worked it, and it's been pretty amazing. I'll be writing a book about that too at some point. My own work, mind you, not I mean, I'll definitely be citing Stephanie quite a bit because she's certainly played an influential role in my work. But I've been doing, as I said, I've been working doing demonic magic. I've been doing demonic magic since I was a teenager, so it's a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And right now. With the scrying, I've also been exploring what I call behavior alteration, where I've been doing scrying in order to go into my past and my future and merge them into the present and change specific behaviors in certain ways in order to help me um, become a better person, become the person I want to be anyway. I mean, whatever that is, I mean, I don't know. Some people might be like, that's whatever, but I find it helpful for doing the internal work. It's been interesting to use scrying for that purpose. It's not something that I've typically seen written about or shared. Most of the time, when you look at scrying, it's all about working with spirits. Whether it's the spirits of dead people or the spirits of angels or daemons or elementals or whatever. And I've done all of that. I've used it for all of those purposes. And again, I'm going to be describing these experiments in some detail, but I've also been using it for behavior alteration, with the idea really being that I could scry myself and go into my life and basically use the scrying as a way to connect to a younger version of myself or an older version. Now, I have other techniques for these kinds of things, but anyone who knows me knows that I like to go and do a deep dive into this kind of work. I'm fascinated by all the different methods that a person can come up with to do magic, and I like to experiment extensively. And that's what the book Scrying the Divine is going to be about. It's going to be a very in-depth look at how to use and apply scrying for magical purposes. So, keep an eye out for that. I will have an announcement out soon with like a pre-order, so that you can pre-order the book. I'm actually getting the cover designed right now, and I'm really psyched about it. I mean, this is going to be some amazing stuff. I've been doing a lot of spirit work over the last few years, and Scrying the Divine is going to be another part of my Walking with Spirit series. It's interesting. I look at where I'm at now with my magical life and where I was when I first started practicing magic. And if you told me way back when that this is where I would be, I probably would have scoffed at you at the time. But now I kind of smile and I'm like, yeah. And who knows where I'm going to be, you know 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, on my own journey, as well as on the shared journey that I end up having with my community, and with whoever I'm fortunate enough to be working with in a more intimate way. I think that's just as important. And I know one thing that I know is that I really do like working with other people. I've been solitary for most of my life, and now it's kind of interesting to be branching outward and be like, no, I want to do more of that work. And some of that really, like in terms of the scrying work, I've been thinking like, how would I do scrying with other people, or how would that work? Uh, you, you know, can multiple people scry at the same time? Am I the seer, or is the other person the seer? Things along those lines, And I know there's classical operations at work for that kind of thing. I actually got into a conversation with a friend about that a few weeks back, and she was telling me a little bit about, because she'd been watching some of my videos, and so she was pretty curious about what I was up to. And so she and I were talking about that a bit, and I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I'm mainly doing this myself. I don't really have anyone to work with at the time. But that's changed recently, which I'm really happy about. So, we'll see. There may be some experiments along those lines as well. Actually, one thing I'm thinking about that I'm going to be exploring is how to apply crystal grids to scrying. So that'll be interesting. So in this book that I'm writing, it's going to take all these experiments, all these ideas, and unfurl them. I mean, I've been writing about it a bit on my Patreon, which you're more than welcome to check out. I've been writing about it, or I've been sharing videos about it on Instagram. But all of this is just ongoing work, and part of the magical experimentation. So I know sometimes I can go a little quiet, but it's usually because I'm busy working in the background on some projects, and that's really what's been happening here. All right, so I hope you all have a great Monday, and I just was prompted to do this video, and I'll catch you later.